Hey guys, welcome back to The Vault, our little informal tech series. So before we jump into it, my apologies if the guide videos are slim the next couple weeks or, for the past week or so or whatever. I still have a few months left of school, and the past week or so has been pretty busy. I'm still hitting my once a week quota, if you will. So I'm still getting that, I guess, but don't be surprised if that pops up again. Trying my best, and hopefully once I'm done with school, I can pump out videos all the time. But I'm thinking about some other small, quick vids I might be able to put up so you guys don't feel so lonely. In the meantime, also, you might notice, or I hope you notice, that my voice sounds a little bit more clear this time around. So I switched microphones to a Yeti because somebody said that my headset, which I really like, by the way, sounds like 4-bit ass. So fair enough. I took the criticism to heart, and we're going to give the Yeti a try, and hopefully it works well. But otherwise, this video is going to be a fun one because this is, surprise, surprise, not new tech. In fact, I'm about to show you, or what I'm about to show you, you may have encountered here or there, but didn't know exactly what the hell is going on. So this has been a topic that periodically pops up in our Discord, as it did recently, thanks to our guru, the protector of the sacred texts, Jana Kazama. So it felt time to put a formal thing together for reference for everyone. So what I'm going to show you is how to do a standing move from crouch. Say what? Yeah, exactly. That's what we're going to show you, kind of. It's a little bit more involved than that, but that's the best way that we can describe it. But don't get too excited in your pants. There are a couple of important caveats to keep in mind. So first, we're actually still doing testing on this, but I can at least show you some examples that we know work consistently. And you can take it from there and start testing your favorite moves and see what works and all that. But the second thing is that we've only been able to do this with moves that have a down forward input. But the prevailing theory is that it is possible to do it with other down inputs. We just haven't found any examples yet. Okay, so all that out of the way, you want to see the goods, right? So I'm going to first show you the really easy stuff, or relatively easier stuff, that demonstrates how good this can be. The first thing to understand is that the more natural evasion the move has, the bigger the effect you're going to see with this. So I'm going to use Noctis's down forward 1 since it has a lot of dip in the animation and works really well with this trick. So I've set Dragunov up so that we're at 0 on block, a little setup that leaves us at 0, just because that's the easiest situation to show this. But here's how this would normally happen. So we just mash this out, right? His jab is always going to beat my down forward 1 if I just mash it out, which makes sense, right? We're at 0. Well, there I accidentally got it. But the jab is 10 frames and the down forward 1 is 13 frames, right? So the down forward 1 should always lose. Well, watch this. Now all of a sudden I'm winning, or more correctly, I'm managing to go under the jab. But what is going on? So first, let's talk about the notation. So to do this, the best way that we've discovered is to press and hold down forward and then tap the attack button a moment later. So kind of like that, like a little bit of a delay, right? So you saw it when it was actually working, but you just kind of, it's almost like a down forward slide to the input. So kind of like you're keyboarding, but you don't let go of down forward, essentially. So that's the input for it. So what exactly is happening here when this works? So honestly, that's the $1 million question. We don't quite know. We think it might have to do with the low parry window. At least that's one theory. But we're still testing this out on a lot of different moves and in different situations. So I'm sure we'll be doing some follow-up videos on this. But for now, keep an eye out for those moves that you notice tend to go under highs sometimes, because you might already be seeing this in action and you just don't realize how it's happening. And I can actually give you a couple more really useful examples too. So let's go to Paul real quick. So with Paul, you might have noticed that he's got this really strong generic down forward 2. It's somewhat notorious for going under jabs and other highs. Well, if we use our same neutral setup as before, look what happens when we mash. It should always lose, right? Well, let's administer our little trick. There we go, now we're getting it. Takes me a second to get my timing down. So pretty neat, right? So now you'll notice that I spaced myself out a little bit, and this is part of the weirdness of this trick. If I do this at range 0, it doesn't work. I can't get it to work at all. But again, this is part of what we're trying to figure out. We think that the trick is just accentuating ducking frames, but not necessarily putting you into full crouch completely. However, on a related note, you'll notice that it's still tough to time. Like spacing can be weird. Like even when you like reset the situation here, when I do the the whole select X or whatever to reset it, it still doesn't always work, or the timing's a little bit off. Like it's not super easy to do, but you can get it pretty consistently if you practice. Now, however, on another note, I want to jump to Ganryu to show you something real quick. So first, you can do the same thing with Ganryu's down forward 2 as I just showed you with Paul's down forward 2. But one thing that we've noticed with this is that it tends to prefer to give you full crouch moves when you try to do it if your character has one. And this is most obvious in situations where the game gives you instant full crouch. So I've set Dragunov to 1-1-3 and just watch what happens here. See how quickly he's going into full crouch and doing the full crouch down forward 2? So I'm just holding down forward 2, and then essentially as soon as I am able to recover, then I'm just mashing 2, and that's it. But it puts me into full crouch immediately, so it's almost like there's no wait time, you just go right into full crouch. So we're pretty sure that the system abuse is happening in this situation as well, almost like the game is trying to predict what we want, but also giving us the benefit of the doubt. Hence more evasion, quicker full crouch, etc. But the big advantage to this trick is that it doesn't require a setup. So like for Ganryu, anytime you're thinking about doing down forward 2, and you notice right there like how far I dipped down on there, I just did it like kind of randomly. But if you use this trick, you just press and hold down forward 2, and then a moment later, tap your attack button. So considering how prevalent jab harassment is in this game, this trick helps out a lot with moves like down forward 2. So this has huge practical implications. And remember when I said that this wasn't new? So I linked an old video in the description that was made by Core back in the T5 days, which is when this was discovered. So now from our testing, it doesn't seem to be quite as powerful as it was in T5, so there's probably been some system changes over time. But for instance, Core was able to do this trick with Ganryu's down forward 3, which has no evasion whatsoever. But we haven't been able to successfully recreate that in T7. Still, we're going to keep testing, but for now, test this out yourself with your character and find the moves that benefit from this, and thank us later, I guess. So with that, we're going to bring the video to a close. Like I said, we're probably going to do follow-ups on this as we continue to test it. I'm hoping I can get the next guide vid up early next week. In the meantime, as usual, check me out on Twitch, Twitter, all that. Links are in the description below. Patreon is the big one. Become a patron and support this content to help me put out more. And otherwise, I appreciate you all either way. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and have a good one.